now that we got it all back together and looking good and hopefully functioning a little bit better than it was, I want to go ahead and make a couple cuts. So we're going to do 2 cuts. We're going to do another heavy stock removal using my 1-inch tool, but what I'm going to do is make a modification to the tool grind. I've been doing a little bit of learning since I last did that, and we're going to make a mod to the tool grind, try another heavy cut and just see how it reacts. And I also want to do another one where we're going to do a vertical cut on the side of a piece, and that's where we'll use our auto down feed that we've got working right here. So we'll probably take a piece of stock and hang it out of the vise right here, turn our tool, and then make a vertical cut using the down feed. All right, so let's go get some metal and get started. Let me catch you up to speed. We got this test block back in the vise. We're going to do our vertical cuts first, and I just ground this tool bit over here, and it's basically just like a turning tool is what it kind of looks like. We're going to use this to make our vertical cut across here. And I've been getting everything set so that we got adequate clearance. So right here, so we got a 3-inch wide block, and you can see the tip of the tool. Once it clears the bottom, we'll have enough clearance right there, and it should clear everything back there too. All right, so that's what you got to be sure of before you start making your cuts. We have the clapper box swung all the way to the right, and if you look at the swing, if you was to look at this, whenever it's going back, now it's not going to be coming out this far, it might pick up just a tad. The arc of the tool bit is swinging out and away from that cut right there. Okay, so that's why we got it swung that way. Okay, I think we're ready. I've got it moved over from touch off right there, 40 thousandths. All right, just want to make sure everything's clear before I engage. We'll try 8 thousandths. We got it set. Let's go for it. All right, looks like it's working. Change speed. kick the strokes per minute up and also double the feed to 16. Now you can see that clapper working a little bit more. In a real world job shop environment, you know, you want to maximize your strokes per minute and your feed rate. So a lot of this times I'm going real slow because I'm learning it and I'm trying to share that stuff on video, and it's easier to see when it's going slower. So there's a really good example of making use of the vertical feed on the shaper right here, the automatic down feed. Putting a block in here or any workpiece and having the ability to go down the side of it versus having to try to stand that part up, because you know you might ask, well, why not stand it up and do it? Well, imagine if you had a large workpiece in here, a large wide workpiece that you can't really stand up. Then it's nice to be able to hang it out of the vise or whatever and be able to do the auto down feed. That's the first time in my life I've ever made that operation before on a shaper using the the auto down feed on the tool slide right there. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to flip this block around because this side over here is the factory cut edge, and it's actually concave, which is kind of odd, but I'm going to cut the other side just to get a little more practice in, and then once we do that, we'll switch it up and we'll go back to some heavy cutting. I got set up to cut the other side, and I wanted to give you a closer shot of this because I don't think I've shown it yet. So this is your dial for your down feed, and that's the down feed in thousandths of an inch. So your shortest is 4 thousandths, and your one all the way to the top is 32 thousandths. Right there, that'd be 32. So the last cut you see me do was 16, which that looked pretty good. Probably gonna go back to that again because we're gonna do a little bit heavier cut on this one here. Okay. So to start, I'm bringing it to 0, very first knot, so it don't down feed until we get moving. Well, that was our second side there, finished up. It was a pretty decent cut there towards the bottom. It looked like it was, getting to be, I don't know, maybe between 80 and 100 thousandths wide. So the machine seemed to handle it pretty good. The chips are looking pretty good coming off there. So very happy with the vertical feed there. I look forward to utilizing that on future projects here in the shaper. It's going to be really helpful having that working there. So I'm going to break this setup down and go with a different tool, and we're going to try maybe 1 or 2 heavy cuts again. We'll just do it on this block right here and cut this one down and see what we can do. So that's the tool that I ground in and we made our last cuts on, our last heavy cuts. That's what this grind was for right here. And what I've been learning is that instead of having a straight parallel edge is on the shaper, you should actually use, there should be a radius here with negative rake. So your cutting tip should actually be more down this way, and it kind of radius up like that. All right. Now I would like to put somewhere between a 4 and 6-inch radius. Not 6-inch, but maybe about a 4-inch radius. That's what I meant, 4-inch radius on this. But I don't have a proper wheel because mine are 12-inch wheels, so I'm going to put a 6-inch radius on this. I'm going to hold this over the wheel like that and create a negative rake on this tool that'll have a slight radius to it, and then we're going to give it a shot and see if that improves our heavy cutting there. I've got it about where I want it. There you can kind of see the little bit of radius. It'll actually have a negative rake now, so your cut will start on the top and gradually go down as it goes into the metal. Just hone this side again and we'll be good to go. A little bit better look at the new grind. The new grind that I'm going to try anyway. So we got this side honed, we got our radius in there, and we have our negative rake. Okay, we've got a 3/4 inch depth of cut set, and I wanted to show you this right here. You can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as the negative rake goes. You see the top of the tool starts in on the cut, and it'll end down there towards the bottom there. So let's see if we made any improvements. Making some pretty chips, man. Well guys, what do you think? As far as I can tell, it looks like I have some improvement over what it was originally doing. I think it's working real well and I'm happy with it. I definitely want to try some deeper cuts eventually. I'm not going to do it today, but I would like the capability of doing a deeper cut, and that's one of the reasons why we've been trying to make our improvements right here. But as far as the finish on that goes, you got to remember this is a rough cut. This is completely separate from finishing, which is, I haven't done finishing yet. That's what I want to get into next, is make up a different tool, get into a shear tool and practice making finish cuts, and we'll probably just use this block right there. But I have seen some improvements over this, and not only that, the shaper is just looking so much better too. I think the tool grind works much better like that versus having a straight parallel side that's hitting all at the same time. So we got a little bit of a helical cut going into the material there. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I've had a lot of fun tearing this thing apart and getting it in a much better looking condition, and improvements here and there. And we may do some more eventually. We may go into some work on the table as well. So we're going to end this one right here, and I hope you guys enjoyed, but we're going to keep bringing the videos. I have some projects lined up to do over here, some actual cutting, and I'm really looking forward to getting that over here. And that's why I want to practice my my finishing. So we need to do that next, get a tool and practice our finishes. And then I got a couple projects I want to get over here and get started on, okay? We'll see you guys real soon.